Hi guys, and welcome to my first video lecture with you, and this is why study geography. So we're just going to talk really quickly about why on earth we should be studying geography, and we're going to go over 5 great reasons right now. So here we go. Reason 1 is to understand the planet, to understand there's some scientific element here to geography. We understand some physical systems. So we're talking about the movement of the planet and how it makes days, years, and seasons. If you don't understand how all that works, we're going to cover it in chapter 1, but it's a really important reason to study geography is to really just kind of understand some of the basic elements of being a human being on this planet. Also stuff like water cycles, the wind, ocean currents, why the weather does what it does, why we have different times of the year that are colder or hotter or wetter or drier, and why different places along the planet have different types of environments. So here we go. Reason number 2. To understand where stuff is. This seems kind of like a duh, but yeah, it's like knowing where you are and where other stuff is like important and stuff, right? So we definitely want to be able to understand our place in the world physically, where we literally are in the world, what's near us, what's far from us, and just being able to kind of understand a lot of that is a really important reason to study geography. Sometimes people think that's the only reason we study geography, and it's certainly important, but it's only one very small part of understanding geography. The other part is understanding why stuff is the way it is. Geography helps you know why your town is organized the way it is, why cities are laid out the way they are, why people settled in this place rather than that place. Sometimes those kind of things seem really random, but there's actually usually really good reasons behind it, okay? Also talking about distribution of resources. Why do some people seem to have more stuff than other people? And I'm not talking about just like why does the person next to you seem to have a nicer pair of sneakers than you, although that is part of it. But we're also talking about why is it that people here in Nevada are more financially stable than people in Africa? There's a reason. There's a geographical reason behind that. There's also political and other reasons behind it as well. But geography is an important part of understanding that. And then why is the Earth's surface changing? Some of it is changing through natural occurrences. A lot of it is changing through the changes that we make to it. And it's really important to be able to understand how those changes affect you and affect the world around you and your community. Reason number 4, understand how stuff is connected. A lot of people kind of think, listen, I don't really need to understand what's going on in Europe or in China or in the Middle East. Why should I care? Well, we're a lot more connected than we think we are. What happens there affects us here. It's a phenomenon called globalization, which we're going to talk about a lot this year. You've probably heard globalization talked about in the news or in politics a lot. There's a lot of strong feelings that come about when people talk about globalization, but it's a real thing that's happening. Whether it's good or bad is something we can discuss, but you really do need to understand it and understand how it affects you, because the orange you ate for breakfast has a lot to do with globalization. The coffee you or your parents may have had this morning is a result of global economy. And there's actually a lot of talk about some of these things we take for granted, like our cups of coffee in the morning, not being there in a few years due to instability between ourselves and other countries, and due to changes in the climate and different kind of things that are affecting the growers of coffee beans in other countries. So we want to be able to understand how stuff is connected because it does affect us. And then reason number 5, we want to be a good global citizen. And this kind of goes along with what I was just saying. Because we're connected and because things affect us, we need to understand how to be responsible for the earth, how to be responsible for each other. Human beings are all together on this planet, and we sort of need to understand our place on that planet and our relationship to each other and how that relationship is changing, and how it's changing for the worse in some ways and for the better in other ways. And we need to be able to make judgments about how to positively impact our community, but not just our community, the world at large, because as I said, the connection that we're having with each other indicates that we probably need to think of our communities a little bit larger than just our neighborhood or our church group or our family or the language group that we speak. Our communities actually need to be thought of in different terms. And that's what we call being a good global citizen. Not only are we a good member of our community, but we're a good member of the world. So I hope we learn a lot this year. These are just 5 good reasons as well. You'll also learn some skills, valuable skills, research, critical thinking, reading and writing skills that are going to help you in your other classes and in life. So good luck, geographers.